A bit of a different video for you all today. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing King's Dominion's Halloween Haunt. Of course, this is going on during October, and this is the 2014 version. And so, the footage that you're seeing in this video is all from the 2014 Halloween Haunt. I have done all of the mazes and the scare zones and been to it a couple of times by now, so I feel that I've really gotten a feel for the haunt. So, this video is really geared towards those who are considering going to the haunt or have been to King's Dominion's Halloween Haunt, and so you get to hear my thoughts about the mazes, and then in the comments you can post your thoughts about the mazes and scare zones and all of that. So I will give my overall thoughts about it at the end of the video, but first off, let's get to the mazes. So the first maze that I will be talking about is Maze of Madness. That is the new maze this year, and it was a really long maze. Like halfway through the maze I was like, okay, is it over? But then it wasn't. It is pretty long. It's realistic in the sense that it deals with a topic that exists in the world. It deals with like flesh-eating viruses like Ebola, and so there are people with viruses in their face half eaten off, so that is why it is kind of realistic and probably the most realistic out of all of the mazes here. But still, I mean, you have to remember this is Halloween Haunt, so it's still not that realistic, but it is pretty well staffed. There's lots of people in the mazes, and the mirror section is fairly confusing. Overall, I do like it better than Medieval Macabre, which is the maze that was there before. Now let's talk the Doll Factory, and this really is pretty much the same as last year. The strobe light section is pretty strong. It's creepy because it deals with a kitty subject and then it makes it freaky. So I do like that one. Next up is the classic Cornstalkers, and I like this one because it has really tight corridors and there's great costumes that really blend in with the surroundings. So this one is a great one. Next up is Slaughterhouse, and this is the gross one, but there's some really solid theming, it's well staffed, and there's some pretty graphic stuff. I mean, lots of blood. Zombie High School is one of my favorites. This is a fun one. It takes the classic high school elements, the homecoming, the classrooms, the gym, all of that great stuff, and it combines them with zombies. Who doesn't love that? So I really like this one. This one's a good one. Outbreak the Evolution is inside the Flight of Fear building, so you can ride Flight of Fear during the day, and then go through the maze at night. And this one needs some work. It needs better theming and some better costumes. I wasn't that impressed with it. Here we have Club Blood, and this is a fun one. This is the party maze. It has a good theme. It could be a bit better. There is this one awkward section at the end where it's just a bunch of blank walls and there's no theming, so that part could be a bit better, but overall, I do like Club Blood. That's a nice one. Blue Ridge Bloodbath is the car driving one, and this one is not good. It is bad. Very understaffed. I think when I went there a few times, I counted probably 5 or 6 people in the entire maze. It isn't frightening. There isn't very much theming, and when there is theming, it's just not that great. This maze just isn't that good. It has a lot of potential, but it just doesn't use a whole lot of the elements to its advantage. The only reason why it is still around is because there's nothing to replace it with. You can't put a new maze in there, kind of like how they've done in years past. The car ride is still going to be there, so they might as well make it the maze that it is. And finally, we have No Vacancy. This is the hotel themed one. This one is strong. It is one of the best here. It has a great theme, and there are lots of little details here and there that really add to it, like picture frames popping out and just little things that you don't really notice but really add to the overall theme, so I really like that. Moving on to the scare zones, we have The Lair. That's a pretty good one. It's got some interesting decorations, and it does have some good hiding places for the actors. Carnival is the main one on the midway, and that is, in my opinion, the second best scare zone. It's really long and has some cool decorations. There's lots of cool costumes for the scare actors as well. You have the people on the stilts and the people with the creepy face painting. That one's nice. Necropolis is the smallest scare zone, but it's also under a big hedge, and so it's pretty dark in there, and it's not really a great theme, but it is a good use of the space. Up next is the scare zone over by Volcano the Blast Coaster. This is a really cool concept and has some well done hiding spots because it deals with that tiki theme. And so you have people speared and stuck up on poles and being roasted alive, and this one really uses the fog well, so this is a good one. Next up is Ironworks, and this is the one behind the Eiffel Tower, and this used to be better in years past, but they no longer have the light package going, and the music used to go along with it, and it was really good, so they got rid of that. I don't know why, but it's really not as good without it, and there's also not that many actors in there. I think last time I went through there, I counted probably 4 in the entire scare zone. And finally, we have Fairy Tales, and this is, in my opinion, the best scare zone here. It has lots of people in it, a creepy theme. These actors have these really creepy costumes in it. They play creepy, childish music, and it's kind of freaky. And so it has some strong theming, so I really like that about Fairy Tales. Now let's talk overall Halloween Haunt. What did I think? But maybe it's just me, but I was a little bit bummed out this year. I think it's been better in years past. Maybe that's just because I've been to Halloween Haunt several years in a row. But if this is your first time going to King's Dominion for Halloween Haunt, you definitely won't be disappointed. However, if you're one of those people that just goes over and over and over again, year after year, then you might not think that this year was as good as in years past. But I am pleased with how King's Dominion does this. They do a good job. And that's it for this video, and make sure to stay tuned for more videos on Coaster Studios. And if you would like to see all of this footage from Halloween Haunt with the audio, it is all available on my channel, along with a full video of the Overlord's Resurrection.